Welcome inside the Acres Broadcast Center. I'm Tim Mulhaupt, and this is your Sports Nightly Ticker. Happy Monday, Huskers fans. We have a lot coming your way over the next 2 hours as we start where we will end, as the Husker men's basketball team put the college basketball world on fire this past week, upsetting both number 23 Ohio State and 10th-ranked Wisconsin to close out the regular season. Coach Fred Hoiberg and forward Derrick Walker will join us in hour 2 tonight for the final men's basketball show of the season. In addition to winning on the court, the Huskers took home plenty of conference hardware after this weekend's games, as Alonzo Verge won Co-Big Ten Player of the Week after averaging 19.5 points, 8.5 assists, and 5 rebounds per game last week. Bryce McGowens earned his 8th Big Ten Freshman of the Week award after powering the Huskers with 26 points and 6 assists in their upset win over Ohio State. Nebraska will take on Northwestern in round 1 of the Big Ten tournament this Wednesday at 5 p.m. Central, with Huskers Radio Network pregame coverage beginning at 4 p.m. Over to the Huskers football program, where the team met with the media today as their spring practices continue to ramp up. You'll hear from defensive coordinator Eric Chinander later in the hour. Huskers baseball announced a schedule change this afternoon. They've pushed tomorrow's game against Kansas State in Manhattan back to Wednesday. First pitch is at 4 p.m. with HRN pregame coverage beginning at 3:30. Elsewhere in college basketball tonight, number 1 Gonzaga is hosting 24-9 San Francisco in the West Coast Conference Tournament semifinal. That one's at 8 p.m. Number 17 St. Mary's will then host Santa Clara at 10:30 for the other semifinal in the same tournament. Earlier today in women's basketball conference tournament action, number 15 BYU bested Portland 59-52 in the West Coast Conference Tournament semifinal. And in the Big East tournament, it will be number 6 UConn as they play host to Villanova at 7 p.m. tonight. In the NFL, the league has suspended Falcons wide receiver Calvin Ridley for at least the 2022 season after he was caught placing bets on NFL games following his taking of a leave of absence from the Falcons this past season. Ridley has been vocal in owning up to the charge on Twitter and his social media platforms and is confident he'll be back after the season. As we approach NFL free agency, franchise tags are flowing today as they are being applied to many eligible NFL pending free agents. So far today already, Jesse Bates with the Bengals has been tagged. Tight end David Njoku with the Browns has been tagged. Orlando Pace, one-time caller into Sports Nightly, the offensive tackle for the Chiefs, has also been franchise tagged, and there is a lot of speculation that Chris Godwin, wide receiver for the Buccaneers, will follow. That's the ticker. My name is Tim Mulhaupt, and this is Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Andrews swings and crushes it to left, and that is gone. A towering home run for Billy Andrews.
No balls, 2 strikes. Shanaman's pitch popped up on the infield. Core Jackson calling for it, drifting into the outfield grass. Now racing over near the line, makes the catch. And Shea Shanaman has the first complete game shutout for a Husker pitcher since Jake Myers threw a gem against Western Carolina.
At top, Sam Hybe. Deep right side. Jazz Shelley for the record. You betcha! You betcha! Jazz Shelley has tied her career high with her 32nd point and has the Nebraska record.
Gives it off to Verge. Verge on the right side of the floor in the midcourt. Behind the screen of Walker. Shoots the 3. Got it! Holy smokes! Bang! A ring! As the Huskers take the lead against Wisconsin on the road at 72-71. And the shot at the buzzer on the way. It's no good! And the Huskers, holy smokes, bang, a bang, a bang, a ring. Win on the road over the regular season champion Wisconsin Badgers. 3 straight road wins to finish the year.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
How cool is that? Back-to-back road wins over ranked teams, first time in program history. What's going on with this team?
Well, the first time it's in 50 years, right? That a team, what was
any
this?
Team.
Yeah, any team would beat. So wild. It was so fun. And just the way that they battled through so much adversity. Like, I've never seen anything like the opening first however many minutes of the second half. And, you think about Alonzo Verge getting that tee. It shouldn't have been a tee, and then it ends up costing. He ends up fouling out, which could have cost him the game. They battled through that, and no Bryce, no Trey, and it's just all the things that they overcame. And it's fun talking to Derrick Walker earlier a little bit about where this team is at mentally now. And we've been saying it so much about what a win could potentially do for this team, and boy, they have loved being able to go to practice with those 3 wins.
So many things happened, and I don't know what you thought. When I heard Bryce wasn't playing, I'm like, okay, this could be tough.
Yeah.
Because he's been so good.
It would have been tough with Bryce.
Right.
Wisconsin is a top 10 team.
But without him, you're like, yeah, okay, it could be a long afternoon. And then just a horrendous flagrant 2 call on Trey. Flagrant 1, okay, I can go with that. He got him on the head. I think he tried to pull away from it.
That's what I was going to say, because he was already in foul trouble. So, there was... he got caught up, and so that people were all falling, off kilter. He went up to block it and realized he was going to foul, so he tried to pull his hand back, and that's when he hit him in the face. And so, to me, that's a play on the ball. It shouldn't have been a flagrant 2. It should have been a flagrant 1.
I don't know how they got to the point of calling it a flagrant 2, but they did. And then you mentioned the technical on Alonzo, which was just a joke. You can't stare at anybody. I mean, he hardly even stared at anybody.
He didn't say anything. He did not say a word. Nothing.
Just awful, awful officiating. And for them to overcome all of those things and beat that team, it speaks really well. Coach will be here next hour. We'll talk a lot more about that, but I'm so proud of what they've been able to do the last 10 days of the season. It's been so fun to watch them play. And Jessica, there's going to be people that don't, I know they play Northwestern on Wednesday. The Cats can't be going, oh, good, we got Nebraska. I mean, the Huskers are playing at a high, high level.
I think every team in the Big Ten don't want to see Nebraska right now, especially seeing what they did without Bryce and the way that they've been able to, find a rhythm from the outside and knock down some shots. We heard a lot of the coaches say throughout the season that could be a dangerous team.
Right.
They're built to be a dangerous team. If the shots start falling, you don't want to play Nebraska. So hopefully they can we said it after the first win. Hopefully they can keep that momentum going, because as Fred Hoiberg said after the game, they're going to have to win a lot of games and play a lot of ball this weekend if they want to, potentially do something real special and get into the tournament.
It's going to be fun to at least grab our attention starting on Wednesday, 5 o'clock. They have the first game of the tournament, 4 o'clock for pregame coverage. One more thing I want to get to, because this has kind of gnawed at me for the last 24 hours. All of the stories written about that game or about the injury to Johnny Davis, who is a phenomenal player. Love watching him play. I think will be the Big Ten Player of the Year. Terrific player. But the wording of the stories that the AP, ESPN.com, CBSSports.com has put out about his injury said hurt while absorbing a flagrant foul from Trey McGowan's. Trey McGowan's contact with him did not hurt his knee. He hurt his knee on the drive to the buckets. But and go look up all the headlines. It says, injured on the play, a flagrant foul injures John. So the implication is that Trey knocked this guy out of the game. That is far from the truth at all. And that just bothers the heck out of me that that's a perception out there.
And Trey is not he's aggressive, don't get me wrong, and he is not afraid to, take some contact, to, be physical, but he is not a dirty player.
No.
So the fact that he's being, played out as such,
the villain,
is really frustrating. And I also didn't like that people were putting out there, well, Wisconsin was without their best player. So, making excuses for the fact that Wisconsin lost to Nebraska, but Nebraska was without 2 of their best players.
Right. One for the entire game.
Their leading scorer, and then, the heart and soul, and the defensive catalyst and all of the above. So it just, the narrative of that one, how it was framed, making Trey to be a villain and then saying, well, it's all right. Wisconsin was without their best player, so that's why they were able to win it. No, well, Nebraska was out without their leading scorer by far. So the narratives coming out of that one was pretty frustrating. Hopefully it will fuel the guys going into this week.
And let's give some kudos to Alonzo Verge. He has taken a lot of heat this year. Some of it probably deserved, that the ball sticks in his hands a lot. He dribbles, and when Nebraska's not going well, that seems to be what's going on. But he was phenomenal in this game. 26 points. He had 5 assists in this game. Hit that huge three we had with KP in the open. Fouled out shortly thereafter, but we still were able to win. I thought Alonzo, and really through this whole 3-game stretch, has played great basketball.
I think Alonzo Verge got a lot of unfair criticism at the beginning of the year. The shots weren't falling, so and I understand that the ball was sticking, but he probably was trying to do too much. But then, when the shots aren't falling, it doesn't help your defense. And so now that guys are knocking down shots, you're seeing him look to pass from the start of the game. And then guys are knocking down shots, and then, they can't sink in to stop the dribble drive. And he is just so tough off the bounce. I mean, he is just really, really good when he gets an open lane. It's really hard to guard him one-on-one. And when guys are knocking down shots, that provides that opportunity. So he is really good at getting to the rim. But when they can clog the lane, when the shots aren't falling, it makes it tough to do. And so, it just opens everything else up. And the way that they've been shooting the ball has really been key, in my opinion, and everyone's shooting the ball better.
And it was delicious to them to spoil that final home game for Wisconsin. It was going to be their coronation party. They shared the league title early in the week, but they were going to win it outright. Here come the Huskers, who were just going to smash, and then Nebraska spoils the party. I love it. I just love that way, and I'm looking forward to the game on Wednesday.
Let me ask you this. Which spoiler was better, Nebraska at Wisconsin or UNC at Duke?
You're rubbing our guy Andrew
I
back
did,
here
yes,
pretty
I
good.
am.
I was texting him some things that I told him I was sorry that it happened, but I'll take the Huskers. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool for Carolina to go beat their rival in that game, at least for Carolina fans. They went out and celebrated in the streets of Chapel Hill after that win.
Yeah, I always tell people, my friends and family that go watch, I'm getting a glare around the curtain from Andrew.
Don't ignore him.
I always tell my friends and family, look, if you're going to go sit in the stands, you better make sure you don't react, right? Don't be the crying person. Don't be, the one that does anything that becomes a meme, right? There were so many crying people in the stands on Saturday. Nick and I were on the bus after the women's game. I was like, look at all the crying people. They didn't get my pep talk about, hey, the camera's going to find you. If you cry, the camera's going to find you, and then you become a meme.
Yeah. Tough stuff. Andrew, we feel for you. Hey, buckle up, put that phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. You mentioned being in Indianapolis. The Husker women got to the semifinals. They've had trouble matching up with Iowa throughout the year. Caitlin Clark is amazing, phenomenal. But, boy, what a good run. What a fun week it was for the Huskers. And now they just sit back and wait till next Sunday to see where they're going to be headed. Yeah,
obviously we've seen the committee loves Michigan. And so for Michigan to, for Nebraska to get another win over Michigan, it only helps their and then for Iowa to go on and win it only helps their case. But Amy Williams told me the night before, after they beat Illinois or after they beat Michigan, that Iowa's a high-powered offense. We're going to have to score. You can only slow them down so much, right? They can put up the points, so you have to score with them. And it was just the worst team to have a shooting performance like they did. I did, and then after the loss to Iowa, I talked to Coach Williams, and she said that, once they came out really good, Nebraska, but then Iowa went to a zone, which has given Nebraska some trouble at times this year, but she felt like they were going to learn a lot from that, because when you go to the NCAA tournament, you might see a lot of different defenses. You might see teams that you haven't seen before, and teams might be throwing stuff at you that you hadn't seen. So I think it was good for them to not lose, but to struggle maybe a little bit, because I think they will take a lot away from seeing how they can be better the next time around if that happens again. But that team's not going to shoot it that poorly again, no. I don't think.
Now, we said last week, what were the objectives of going to Indy? Obviously, you want to win the tournament. That's number one. But number two is you want to try to help your seeding for the NCAA tournament. And I think last week at this time, most people thought they're probably a 7. Did they do enough to move up a line or two?
I think they did, and not only because of what they did, but a lot of teams that were in the area with us lost. So Florida lost. Who else? The teams that were right there on that 5, 6, 7 line with us, a lot of them lost. And so I think it solidified us beating a really good Michigan team that's probably going to be a 3 seed.
Right. So
for Nebraska to win and get another top 10 win on their on their resume, and then for the other teams to not perform as well in their tournament, to go lose, their first or second round game like that, will help the Huskers. I got a chance to talk with Megan Kahn with the Big Ten Conference, and I think we're going to air that conversation later on in the week. But she was going to meet with the NCAA committee today, and the Big Ten goes and basically breaks down, hey, and talks with the committee and says, this is what this team does. And, hey, if you look at what Indiana, so I'm just using Indiana for example, because they look like vintage Indiana throughout the tournament. But, hey, they were without their best player for this stretch of games, that they lost several games. And, hey, if you look at this game, if you're going to penalize teams for a loss, they're going to go make a case for why they lost that game and whatnot. So the Big Ten's going in there and fighting not only to get another team in Northwestern, but to also help the seeding. There's a rule in place that Nebraska can't play a team from the Big Ten in the first or second round. So also depending on where those other teams end up, you got to think Iowa moved up to a 3. So
had to. You won the whole thing.
So
had
then
to.
If Michigan and Iowa are both 3 seeds, that only leaves, if Nebraska's a 6 seed, that only leaves them 2 places to go. So there's still a lot to figure out. And this is what's great for the sport, because for so many years, there wasn't this much parity. And we kind of knew what things were going to look like going into it. But now there's a lot of chaos right now. Maybe those first 4 seeds are set, and the 2 seeds might be set. But after that, man, it is chaos. And it's going to be fun to see where everybody goes.
Let's, for everybody's sake, because they have changed the selection show for the women and when the tournament starts. What do we know? What do folks need to know about when these pairings are going to be announced for the Husker women?
I'm looking that up because now that I actually should have known that, because
I think it's Sunday night.
It is, but because the men it's
in the afternoon, like 5 o'clock, which that's been normal. But the women had been Monday, but I believe they've moved it to Sunday night. Yeah,
they moved it because with the changing up the field where there's now 68,
right,
you add an extra day at the beginning of it. So selection show will be 8 p.m. Eastern, so 7 o'clock Central Time, and we're going to live stream it on our platform, so you'll be able to see the team's reaction. And I think they're working out plans on where they're going to have that watch party right now. But yeah, so Sunday night, normally it's Monday, as you mentioned, and the men were Sunday, and then the women were a day behind. But because they're implementing all of these changes to make it more even, and it's just March Madness, it's not men's and women's March Madness. So with that I guess first 4, what is it? First 4 in? First 4.
Yeah, they call it first 4.
Not the first 4 out or whatever. The
right.
last. It's not the last 4. It's like the.
Right.
You got to get the verbiage right.
Northwestern might be one of those 4, right? They're right on that bubble, that line.
And they're making a big push for them, and so we'll see. But yeah, that's why that changed up. So it'll be Sunday night, 7 o'clock.
Very good. Okay, so there you go, Husker
But
fans.
They're in.
There's no doubt.
Regardless of what the Michigan coach said.
That was just silly. That's just ludicrous that she brought that point up. So there you go, Husker fans. 7 o'clock Sunday night. That's when the pairing show is for the women's tournament. Huskers are a shoe-in for that, and we'll look forward to that. All right, here's what we have coming up on the program tonight. Eric Chinander met with the media after practice number 4 today for the Huskers, 4-15 now in the books. What's it been like for the coach, and what has he seen from his defense? And we'll even hear a comment or two from him on what he sees from the Husker offense, having to defend them for the last week. So we'll get to some of his comments coming up here in just a little bit. Hour number 2, Fred Hoiberg, our final men's show of the year. The head coach will be here. Within that show, we'll play you a conversation that Jessica had with Derrick Walker, who's been playing great basketball for the Huskers here coming down the stretch. Had a 15-point game yesterday in that huge upset over Wisconsin. So that's what we have on the show here tonight. Always want to have you be a part of this as well. 402-413-2400 with a call or a text. The text line is always open for you. Roger out in Platte County said, how about those chorus of beer guzzlers chanting at Nebraska? Low sportsmanship from those Badger fans. Yeah, Roger, I did kind of catch some of that happening yesterday at the game.
I have a friend that works at Wisconsin, and I texted him and I said, what did you guys pay the rest for this home cooking? He said cheese curds and whatever their local beer is.
It looked pretty blatant, really. Even neutral observers. I was on some sites and saw just people that were Illinois fans or Purdue fans. And they're like, what in the world? Nebraska's getting jobbed in this game. So
it's kind of, I guess, human nature a little bit with officials that a lot of times best players get, Caitlin Clark gets a lot of calls.
She does.
And she probably has earned it, but there are times that she, if it was anybody else doing some of the things she does, you know, she kind of pushes off some, and she cries all the time. Yeah. Every call she cries, and I there's nobody that respects Caitlin Clark and what she's done for this game more than me, but as a sister and a daughter of an official, it drives me bonkers how she cries every time. But anyways, you know, a lot of that best player treatment that kind of happens, but it was a little overboard.
Oh my goodness, just hard to watch. All right, need to take a break. When we come back, Eric Chenander, Husker defensive coordinator, will hear about what the Black Shirts have been doing during spring practice. That's next.
The 2022 Mazda CX-5's inviting interior and eye-catching exterior combine passenger comfort and driving pleasure. Equipped with standard all-wheel drive, the award-winning 2022 Mazda CX-5 creates confidence on your journey. The interior surrounds you with sophistication tailored to you. It's a CUV crafted for together. Shop the 2022 Mazda CX-5 by visiting one of our 2 convenient Woodhouse Mazda locations or shop online at woodhouse.com.
It's Ford Truck Month. Now's the time to get a great deal on the only trucks built Ford tough. Work or play, get after it in a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Get behind the wheel of a new Ford Maverick pickup. And get after any adventure with deals on Ford Ranger. Take advantage of our best offers on the full Ford lineup of trucks. But you better get going. These deals won't last. Get to Ford Truck Month.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. Nebraska researchers are designing the next generation of roadside steel barriers through an industry partnership with Traffic's Devices. This partnership has produced the Delta Crash Cushion, a simplistic, effective way to keep drivers safe on highways. This barrier is vital for roadside safety and significantly improves the chances motorists will be able to walk away from roadside collisions.
Zumos 1-2, and Farrell swings and hammers it to left. A no-doubt grand slam for Farrell.
Nebraska softball heads to Southern California to open a 7-game road trip through the Golden State with Friday matchups against Sacramento State and Cal State Fullerton. Your pregame coverage beginning at 2:15 before the 2:30 first pitch on the Huskers radio network, Huskers.com, and the official Nebraska Athletics app.
Whether you compete on the court, at the track, on the field, or in the fields, winning isn't just a goal. It's a mindset, shaped, honed, and defined throughout the season. That's why farmers pushing themselves to be the best plant DeKalb brand corn. Wherever you compete, winning has roots. Perform at your best with DeKalb. Always read and follow grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Huskers fans, it's time to plan your dream trip to Ireland and see your team face the Northwestern Wildcats at Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Ireland. Single game tickets are on sale now at huskers.com/Ireland. Start the 2022 season in the best way. Plan your dream trip to Ireland and see your team face the Northwestern Wildcats at Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Ireland. Buy your single game ticket today at huskers.com/Ireland.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
This isn't the start. Before I got here, I started training. And before that, I did something to my back. But my first move was Athletico Physical Therapy. That's where I'd eventually end up. So why not start there? I mean, my therapist immediately found the source of my pain. These are the same physical therapists who work with elite marathon runners. So soon, I was back to running, but without pain. You got this.
It all starts at Athletico. Schedule your free assessment at athletico.com.
Did you know that cigarette butts make up a large portion of microplastics in the ocean, which end up in 70% of seabirds and 30% of sea turtles? Bank of the West is helping to solve this problem by not financing big tobacco. proving that what a bank chooses not to finance can be just as important as what it does. Learn more about what we do and don't finance at bankofthewest.com/change. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
From sprains and stitches to sore throats and sinus infections, when it's care that can't wait, count on CHI Health Clinic Priority Care. Simply walk in 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You'll get the quality care you need without an appointment, and you'll never pay more than a regular primary care visit. Get in, get out, and get on with your day. Find a location near you at chihealth.com/prioritycare.
Cornerstone Bank proudly serves Nebraska with a full line of loan and deposit products. Cornerstone is large enough to handle all of your financial needs while offering the personal service you deserve and the local decision-making you expect from a family-owned community bank. Stop in or call one of the Cornerstone Bank locations near you to discover the Cornerstone difference. Bank on a solid foundation. Cornerstone Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. Loan subject to approval. Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. That's the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Monday night. Fourth practice for the Huskers in the books for spring ball. They're almost 33% of the way through spring football practice. And today, defensive coordinator Eric Chunander met with the media for about 10, 11 minutes after practice today. And he talked about the balance you have to have in spring ball between keeping the veteran guys kind of engaged and letting the young guys learn the stuff. It's a balancing act. Here's how he said they handle it.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think there's two separate entities right now. There's a group that's been here, that the new stuff isn't really new. It's just, they've heard the word so many times. And then there's, some incoming freshmen, some transfer, some junior college guys that they've never heard anything. They've never heard us teach technique. They've never heard us teach a drill, and they're getting this big chunk of install. So I think that those guys are a little bit behind as far as schematic stuff. And to me, we will catch them up with that. I just want to see them move around. I want to see them go hard and not be afraid to make a mistake right now. So they have a little bit of catching up to do, but we'll get there.
That is the trick for coaches, because they want to keep adding stuff in, and then the veterans are going, yeah, we got it. And the new guys are like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, yeah, and then it's it's a balance. I actually asked Chris Galarvik today about, and he went through the whole details of what a spring practice is like. And so, it's for some of these younger guys implementing, just even learning just the basics and the technique stuff, that these guys that have been around 4, 5, even 6 years, I guess, in Ben Stilley's case.
Gone, though. So.
Just learning the technique of things that has become second nature for some of the guys, but the freshmen have to learn all of this stuff over. And so, yeah, it's definitely a balance between the old guys and the new guys.
You mentioned Chris Galarvik. They've been working him some at that nickel spot, which is kind of what JoJo did a year ago. Javen Wright's been playing there, and so is Isaac Gifford. And Isaac Gifford's a guy that had a chance to play some last year, particularly when there were some injuries late in the year. He made a lot of plays on special teams, guy that grew up right here in Lincoln. Here's Coach Chunander talking about what they like about Gifford.
Isaac's done a really good job. Isaac studies the game. He studies the film. He knows where to be. For him, it's probably just going to be able to make that play a little bit quicker. He's never going to make a really. Everybody makes a mental error, but that's not his game. That's not what he does. But he needs to see those plays happen and boom, just be able to jump on them a little quicker. And that's how I think he ups his game.
Of course, Isaac's older brother Luke was a good player here. Plays now for the Cowboys in the NFL. But Isaac's just a name to keep an eye on. That's a guy that he loves football. He's going to find a way on the field somehow, some way.
Yeah, and, just listening to some of the guys last year talking about the way JoJo was a big role model for him and helped train him and bring him along, a lot of those younger guys, I think it'll be fun to see what some of these younger guys that were kind of had to wait behind these guys for quite a while, with the COVID year coming back, and have waited their time, and what all they took away from learning from those guys. But I know JoJo was a big teacher for some of those young guys, especially Gifford and even Nick Henrich was the one that was telling me about it after one of the games, that when JoJo got hurt, and just saying how big JoJo was and bringing him along. So, yeah, there's a couple of guys that need to step up and fill some of those roles.
Huskers even traveled JoJo for that Wisconsin game, even though he wasn't going to play, because they wanted his leadership on the sidelines for that. All right, here's a name, folks, you need to keep an eye on. It's Marquise Buford, a defensive back. Last year's a true freshman, played a lot of special teams, didn't get on the field a lot because he was behind Cam Tater-Britt and Quentin Newsome. But this is a guy the coaches seem to be excited about. Here's Eric Janader talking about Buford.
Yeah, he's been exactly what we thought he'd be. His prep school coach, we knew very well. We knew that he was going to have great character. All the intangibles were going to be there. Then we just had to get him out here and see what he could do. And so far, he's met and exceeded expectations. He's playing some corner, some nickel. Some corner, some safety. So he's doing a lot of different things for us, and I think that he's going to be able to help the football team a lot.
Boy, when he says playing some corner, playing some nickel, playing some safety, I'm thinking Cam Tater-Britt. And here's the coach kind of asked to expand more on what they see and what they like from Buford.
I think the more that he can learn, especially some of those guys that are very high learners, the more that he can learn, the better he'll know whatever position he's at. And Coach Fish, we were talking, and it doesn't make sense to not have him cross-train when he already is doing a really good job at it. That way, if somebody goes down, he can move over. We can slide the next best guy in. We don't have to say, well, the next best guy is the corner, but it's really the fifth guy should be the safety. We can move him around and kind of make that thing work.
When you're asking a young redshirt freshman, sophomore, to learn multiple positions, that means they think you can do a lot.
It seems like a lot of these defensive backs that I've talked to along the way have that mindset of, I'll play anywhere, I can play anywhere. And I think that's important, to be able to move guys around and you don't miss a beat. It's not like, hey, we got a corner playing safety. No, you got a bunch of defensive backs that are out there going to make plays. I think that's important.
Very important. Defensive line, it's a little skinny up front right now. Casey Rogers not participating in drills. Obviously, Damian Daniels opted to go to try his hand at the National Football League. You had a couple departures to the transfer portal. It's a thin group. How's that group holding up through the first 4 practices?
Yeah, there's a different urgency, and also they're taking a huge workload. There's just not, at that position, there's not a ton of depth right now, just by sheer numbers. So those guys are taking a ton of reps, and I think it's good for them. It's been hard on them. They've been really tired and they've been gassed, but it's been really good for them. And we get a lot of reps and we get a lot of film to watch with those guys, but they have had a sense of urgency.
I would keep an eye on that position, maybe in the portal after spring ball. They are down some numbers there.
Yeah, and especially if you get guys hurt. I mean, right now Casey Rogers is trying to come back, but it's just inevitable that you got guys that go down on the defensive line, so you got to have some depth there, which is what was such a big strength last year.
It was.
And
they rotated so many guys, but
it's like a line change every play.
Stilly's gone. Daniels is gone. Jordan Riley opted to lead the program, so their numbers got chipped away at. I wanted to get these cuts on too, because it's kind of interesting for me to hear defensive coaches talk about what they see from the offense, and vice versa. We'll get to that later when the offensive coaches talk about what they see from the defense. But how different is this offense to defend here in the spring? Here's Eric Janader and what he had to say about that.
I don't think it affects what we do, but it's been nice to see a bunch of different stuff. Every time that you run a route versus cover 3 or quarters or whatever, every time we see a new concept, that's something that the kids have to adjust to. That's something that we have to coach through, especially if we haven't seen it yet. So it's been really good to see all the different, passing concepts they have, some of the new running concepts, some of the new formations. That's really good for us to see, because that only makes us better throughout the year.
Absolutely. I also like getting the perspective of players and what the matchups are like. And so I asked Chris about those wide receivers, and he said they're pretty special. Well,
and right there, we got a little bit of a hint from Eric Shenanda that there are some different formations. There are some different wrinkles, which we all kind of wonder, is Mark Whipple going to have a big – well, right there, he's kind of telling you that they do.
Yeah, and it's always good. You get so used to, teams seeing your team, your teammates every single day that becomes, I think, more of an advantage for the defense because, they know the plays, but hey, you got to stay on your toes when you got all these new wrinkles that are being thrown at you.
How about the new quarterbacks? What did Eric Chinander think about those guys?
I mean, so far they've done a really nice job from my end looking at them, but sometimes I don't even know which quarterback's in there because I got too much other stuff going on, but I thought they've done a really nice job throwing the ball down the field. They've done a really nice job keeping themselves alive in the pocket, and I haven't seen them throwing very many wild balls around out there, so that's really good. So far, so good, I think.
Kind of anxious to talk to a couple of them.
Yeah, we're going to get to, right? Wednesday.
Let's hope.
Yeah, crossing our fingers. Hopefully, I've been told I'm going to get to talk to a couple of the quarterbacks.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to hear from them.
Me too.
I know the fans are too.
Yeah.
They want to hear how this
Well,
thing's
especially
going.
because we haven't heard from them. They've done a few interviews, but not since they started spring ball. So
Right.
being able to really kind of dive into some of that.
So there's Travis Fisher also talked to the media today. He just talked about great competition. He goes, the guys I brought in to beat the guys that I already have in and out. So he said that's the attitude. I tell the current guys, I'm recruiting guys to come take your position. So he said it's been really competitive, and he says best men will prevail when we get ready to play the games.
It's just what you want. You want competition. That's what makes the best football teams. When you got to go out there and battle for your spot throughout spring and fall camp, I mean, it just pushes you to get better. So the more competition, the better this team will be.
Nebraska 811 says, go dig red. Before you dig, always call or click 811 to have your utility lines marked. It's free, it's easy, and it's the law. All right, our Sports Nightly Hotline, it's open for you. Brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family Shop. Woodhouse first, 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance, buy online at woodhouse.com. Back with more of your calls and comments, texts, all that. Fair game coming up next.
A DUI is everything you didn't prepare for. You did not save for it. You did not train for it. You did not go to school for it. You did not raise your family or buy a house or get a job for it. It is not your life goal or a dream come true. You have planned for everything in your life. You did not plan for a DUI. Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Okay, let's get a photo of the bride and groom standing next to that giant mud puddle. Good. Now smile.
Oh, honey, don't look now, but you're covered in mud.
Oh, so is your white tux.
You know what this means, don't you?
Trucks and Bucks from the Nebraska Lottery is back.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This is the happiest day of my life. Don't you think we should head to the nearest Nebraska Lottery retailer?
I do.
Trucks and Bucks is back, and you could win one of 8 new trucks. Top prize odds 1 in 336,000.
At Subaru, they love building vehicles for those who pack a lot into life. The redesigned 2021 Crosstrek is their way of saying more power to you. An upgrade in horsepower means you have a world of fun and adventure waiting for you. And the Crosstrek comes with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. Love, it's what makes Subaru, Subaru. Visit Deto Subaru at 27th Street and Jamie Lane in Lincoln or at DetoSubaru.com. Upgraded horsepower available on select models.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Zumos 1-2, and Farrell swings and hammers it to left. A no-doubt grand slam for Farrell. Nebraska softball heads to Southern California to open a 7-game road trip through the Golden State with Friday matchups against Sacramento State and Cal State Fullerton. Hear pregame coverage beginning at 2:15 before the 2:30 first pitch on the Huskers radio network, Huskers.com, and the official Nebraska Athletics app.
Touchdown, Nebraska.
If you're doing business in Nebraska, the best way to connect your organization with the excitement surrounding the Huskers is through a partnership with Nebraska Athletics. You can take your business to the next level by reaching loyal Husker fans through in-venue signage, digital and social media, radio advertising, and more. Join the Husker team today and email partners@huskers.com to learn more about opportunities to connect with Husker Nation. That's partners@huskers.com.
The 2022 Mazda CX-9's refined performance and signature design make this 7-passenger CUV a cut above. Enjoy the inviting cabin where every passenger's comfort was a consideration. While experiencing Mazda's holistic approach to driving, the 2022 Mazda CX-9 is crafted for connection to the driver, passenger, and the journey. It's a CUV crafted for together. Shop the 2022 Mazda CX-9 by visiting one of our 2 convenient Woodhouse Mazda locations or shop online at woodhouse.com.
When you're a sports fan, it's kind of like having a new love interest. You want to know all about them. Only instead of learning about someone's third-grade crush, you want to know the latest scores, stats, and lineups. To get that, you need Cox Internet. Cox gives you that window to look deeply into your beloved team's soul. Not to mention their injury list. Cox, we're sports 24/7. Learn more at cox.com/sports.
Everyone knows that Dakota Mac is known for their great rates on long-term fixed ag real estate loans. But just how long-term are they? They're even longer term than the silent treatment your mom gave you after she found out you backed over her peony bushes with the riding lawnmower. Even though it could have happened to anyone. Oof, talk about long-term.
Hi, it's Nick Renault with Dakota Mac. Call me at 308-380-7564 to learn about our competitive 30-year fixed rates on ag real estate loans.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. During the summer of 2021, 3 UNL students helped safeguard cattle across the state. Neely Anderson, Tatiana Jones, and Ashton Commons developed secure beef supply plans that prevent the spread of disease outbreak. The plans protect nearly 850,000 cattle across our state and provide greater economic security for this vital industry.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe Jessica Coody with you here on a Monday night. Again, Fred Hoiberg in studio next hour. Final show of the year for the head basketball coach. Huskers head off tomorrow to Indianapolis. They will play Wednesday night at 5 o'clock. First game of the tournament. They'll take on the Northwestern Wildcats. 402-413-2400, the number to dial us up with a comment or question or fire off a text. Couple of texts. Denny in Omaha. I know I'm late on this, but what did Michigan's coach say?
So it kind of, I never saw the video and I was looking for it because it came out, I guess, right before we headed out to go to Indianapolis. And the word was that basically she called Nebraska a bubble team, but come to find out it was just she misspoke. A bubble top 25 team is what she was saying. So she wasn't saying that Nebraska's a bubble team and not in the NCAA tournament. It wouldn't make sense for her to say that anyways because Nebraska beat them badly, and then she was going to play them again, and so you want that net to keep going up, and the better the teams you play, the better that net ranking is, the better your resume is. So I was really confused when that came out. So she was just misquoted or misspoke, but she was saying that Nebraska should be in the top 25, which we all agree with.
Right.
So we take it back. We take back all the bad things we said about her.
And I don't. There's some coaches in the league that I'm not huge fans of. I don't have really a problem with her. So when that was coming out last week, you weren't the only one saying that. A lot of people were. I'm like, that kind of breaks character with what I think she would be like.
Well, and I was saying, I thought surely she meant Northwestern.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, she's talking about Northwestern as a bubble team. Because, again, there was no video, and it was just it was just going around social media that she said Nebraska was a bubble team. And so when I couldn't find the context of the quote, I thought, okay, she was talking about Northwestern. But then come to find out she was talking about that Nebraska should be in the top 25, that they were a bubble top 25 team. She should probably not use the bubble word.
Correct. Yeah.
She should use Fringe for top 25, Bubble for the tournament field.
This was your first time to Indianapolis. How did you feel like the tournament was run? How about just the way they presented everything? What was your take?
Well, Red Panda performed at halftime
Well,
of the
then, there
game
you
on
go,
Saturday.
right there, boom.
So already up there at the top. But no, it was, the more we went along throughout the week, the more fans turned out. There were a ton of Iowa fans and a ton of Nebraska fans, and they were both loud. They were, going, let's go Hawks and go Big Red at the same time, and they were having their own duel going up in the stands. But it was a good atmosphere on, in that game against Nebraska and Iowa. And I didn't see the crowd yesterday, but probably was pretty good with Indiana and Iowa.
I would think.
But yeah, they had different acts, and it was a great venue, and you could walk everywhere, and yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I really did. In the Big Ten, there's so many good teams,
right.
So I was going to watch as a fan, just watching a fan of the game of basketball, those games that were playing before. Since we play the late game every night, I could go watch basketball leading up to it. That's what's so great about tournament time.
That venue it's perfectly located because it's really kind of centrally located. A slight advantage for Indiana and Purdue because for both their fan bases, just a little over an hour to get there, so they have a slight edge. But you're going to do that anywhere you put a conference tournament. In the Big 12, Kansas has a big advantage because it's in Kansas City every year and it's just 40 minutes from Lawrence. You're going to have that kind of advantage. Buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Also, the Combine was going on. And how about the way the Huskers performed? We thought they would, and boy, did they. All four of them rose to the occasion.
They really did. And like I told you, I got a friend that's a scout that has been impressed with how they've handled the off-the-field stuff and meeting with the media or meeting with those interviews. That could be a grind. That is just... that probably is worse than going out there and competing, doing all those drills, is having to answer the same questions over and over, and just some of the things that it's just such a grind, and just sitting there and being just grilled. But yeah, I thought Austin Allen, I talked to Jeremiah, I said this on Thursday night's show, that they would have liked to see him run the 40 a little quicker. So I bet he runs it here at Pro Day. But everything else he did really, really well. Performed really, really well. The shuttles and all of that. Jeremiah and Austin, they were really pleased with that. But Cam Taylor-Britt just smoked that 40. I know he's fast. I didn't know he was 4.38 fast.
Unbelievable. And I think JoJo acquitted himself really well. Cam Jurgens off the charts. We thought it would be. It was. Tim said he was watching some NFL Network coverage, and they had a Giants representative on, and I think Austin Allen was doing one of his drills, and the guy goes, I really like this guy. So I think they all helped themselves. Didn't hurt themselves at all.
It's funny because Cam Jurgens was running right as Zach Taylor was about to speak to the women's basketball team to do the pregame speech. And so Jeremiah texted me, and then I had somebody else text me what Cam ran because I wasn't going to get to see it. And so I relayed it, and so Zach Taylor and Trev Alberts both were asking me about what Cam's numbers were. They were both interested in that. And at the time, he had the fastest time for an offensive lineman. Yeah. So, they were both interested in that.
Very good.
I think Cam's going to be intriguing for some teams.
I do too. Draft's going to sneak up on us toward the end of April for the draft. Our Sports Nightly hotline, which is open for you, 402-413-2400. Brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, and buy online at woodhouse.com. Back with our final segment of Hour 1 next.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
In a world where fun and cash prizes collide, one game explodes to the forefront. Cash Blast from the Nebraska Lottery. Non-stop excitement, a winning thrill ride, and starring you. Until April 12th, play 2x2 weekly for a chance to win $5,000 or $500. And if your ticket was a 7-day draw, your prize is double. Don't miss it. Cash Blast playing at a lottery retailer near you. 2x2 top prize odds 1 in 105,000.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there's no place that treats you like home like Sap Brothers. For 50 years, Sap Brothers has fueled America's heartland and been a reliable partner to local farms and Husker fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your farming equipment and welcoming guests into their travel centers. Visit www.sapbros.net. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Husker Athletics.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
You're in the driver's seat with Woodhouse. Shop, finance, and buy your next vehicle your way. From the comfort of your home at woodhouse.com, one of our 19 dealerships, or a combination of both. It's that easy. Plus, offering the most wanted new makes and leading pre-owned models, your next vehicle is on the lot or on its way. Shop confidently with the Woodhouse team today. Serving customers and communities since 1975. This is Woodhouse.
We're back, final few minutes of our number one Sports Signing. Our men's basketball coach, Fred Hoiberg, in studio next hour, our final show of the year. You had a chance to take in a little wrestling when you got back from Indianapolis. What a cool-looking venue. I watched some of the coverage on TV. It looked awesome.
It was really cool. There was a lot of fans there. And I watched on TV on Saturday. It seemed pretty electric. And then yesterday, I think because the Big Ten is such a good wrestling conference and so many of these guys are going to go compete for national titles and they're probably going to be competing against each other. A lot of people opting not to participate in that final round yesterday. So there were some empty mats almost every single weight class, which kind of stinks, and even some in the championship matches. But you know, it's just, I mean, there's no doubt about it. This is the best wrestling conference, and you're seeing, if those fans went to Pinnacle Bank Arena, a lot of those guys that you watched wrestle here in Lincoln are going to go win national titles in a couple weeks.
Right. Yeah, that has to be deflating as a fan because they had 3 mats up, right?
Yeah.
And then some matches just didn't happen because guys forfeited, didn't want to do the wrestle. The heavyweight final didn't happen. That's disappointing a little bit, but I get it. If you're going to have to face that person in 2 weeks in Detroit, why give them an advantage, a mental, psychological advantage that they beat you here? So I get it.
I do too. I mean, look, I mean,
it.
it means a lot to win a Big Ten title. It does, but look, ultimately the goal is a national title, and so you know, I think maybe some of the Husker wrestlers a little gassed, like Ridge Levitt didn't wrestle, which I was kind of surprised because he is a competitor.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping I hope he's not hurt. I hope it was just more of a, you know, precautionary thing. But a couple of them did come out. When I talked to Eric Schultz, I know a Big Ten title really meant a lot to him. But I kind of think it's probably better that he didn't win that because he might rematch up with that guy here. So, you know, probably better that you didn't win the first round. Better to win the second one, the last one, right? The last meeting.
That's what you want to win. The one for the roses, as they say. Okay, great job by everybody who helped put that on. A lot of work went into that from the Nebraska standpoint because they were the host school. There's a lot of things that go into hosting that. You got 14 teams. Student athletes all over the place. It's a big deal.
How about Jordan Burroughs? He was great as an analyst.
Good. What a good guy.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Cool guy.
It was pretty fun too, just seeing all the different colors and you know, Michigan was in it. So Iowa was cheering against Michigan, and then, you know, all the teams that were going against each other when they weren't even wrestling. So it was fun.
Was surprised Michigan won the team title, but
good for them.
Kudos to them. Our Sports Signing Hotline is brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. Shop, finance, and buy online at woodhouse.com. Hour 2 coming up. Our men's basketball show. The head coach in studio will take your calls, comments, and questions next.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You're in the driver's seat with Woodhouse. Shop, finance, and buy your next vehicle your way. From the comfort of your home at woodhouse.com or one of our 19 dealerships, we've got something for everyone. From new stylish SUVs that blend comfort and capability, or a pre-owned truck packaged for durability and everyday functionality. When it's time to upgrade your drive, shop confidently with Woodhouse, serving customers and communities since 1975. This is Woodhouse.
Okay, let's get a photo of the bride and groom standing next to that giant mud puddle. Good. Now smile.
Oh, honey, don't look now, but you're covered in mud.
Oh, so is your white tux.
You know what this means, don't you?
Trucks and Bucks from the Nebraska Lottery is back.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This is the happiest day of my life. Don't you think we should head to the nearest Nebraska Lottery retailer?
I do.
Trucks and Bucks is back, and you could win one of 8 new trucks. Top prize odds 1 in 336,000.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. The university has a new undergraduate business and law major. Students majoring in business and law are learning to use legal knowledge to better solve business challenges. They are also gaining skills in regulatory compliance, financial services, securities regulation, and corporate social responsibility. Upon graduation, they will boost the state's talent pool in these critical areas of expertise.
Keep yourself and your loved ones healthy by getting your free COVID-19 vaccine. Plus, when you get a COVID-19 vaccine at your Hy-Vee pharmacy between February 1st and April 30th, you can get a 50-cent Hy-Vee Fuel Saver reward. Talk about savings. Schedule your COVID-19 vaccination appointment today at Hy-Vee.com/COVID vaccine. Some restrictions apply. See pharmacy for more details.
This is the Nebraska Men's Basketball Radio Show with head coach Fred Hoiberg. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Across the timeline, all the way to the rack, puts it up, got it! Huskers are up by 8, their biggest lead of the night. They've come from 7 behind in the first half to take an 8-point lead at 49-41. And we've got a timeout on the floor. 10 on the shot clock. Huskers by 6. Here's Bryce on the drive, right past Orange, the floater on the way. It's good, and an and one for Bryce. McGowan's has 23. It's Nebraska, huge win tonight on the road, beating the Ohio State Buckeyes for the second time ever in Columbus. Final score, 78-70.
How about that? I told you we were due to win here, KP.
Gives it off to Verge. Verge on the right side of the floor in the midcourt. Behind the screen of Walker. Shoots the 3. Got it! Holy smokes! Bang! A ring! As the Huskers take the lead against Wisconsin on the road at 72-71. Verge with a humongous, gigantic three-point field goal. Who will pop open? Who will pop open? He gets it down the floor, and it's intercepted, and the shot at the buzzer on the way. It's no good! And the Huskers, holy smokes, bang-a-bang-a-bang-a-rang, win on the road over the regular season champion Wisconsin Badgers. 3 straight road wins to finish the year.
Here is your host, Greg Sharpe, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Thank you. Welcome into our final show of the year with the head coach. So a chance for you to get some comments to him as they get ready to head off to Indianapolis for the Big Ten tournament, which will start on Wednesday. Numbers for you, 402-413-2400 with a call or a text. Congratulations. You've had to have some fun here the last 10 days.
Man, is there anybody better than Kent? I mean, unbelievable hearing the calls. It's been fun. I'm really proud of our guys. They've continued to battle, obviously, through some very difficult circumstances this year. And, that last game against Wisconsin, the big thing, I think we gained some confidence with the win at Penn State, the win at Ohio State, holding them off there at the end, knowing we can win a close one. And that helps. It helps the next time you're in that situation. And as many things that happened to us in that game, with Bryce not being able to go with the sore wrist, with Trey being tossed on the flagrant 2, with Alonzo fouling out, picking up his 4th with about 15 minutes to go in that game, with Wisconsin getting into the bonus at about the 15-minute mark of the second half. We just found a way to keep going. We just kind of hung around. We got down 10. We'd hit a shot. Kobe hit a 3 in one of those situations. Made enough baskets to keep it close, and then we went on a nice little run where I did a good job of stringing together some stops. I don't think they had a field goal in the last 6.5 minutes, and we converted that into offense. So it really was. I could not be more proud of this group for how they've continued to go out and fight and claw and battle, and it's good to see them get rewarded with 3 wins to end our regular season.
First time in school history, back-to-back road wins against ranked teams. That's a pretty good accomplishment for a group that could have folded it up 3-4 weeks ago.
Yeah, that game, first of all, I thought we played really well against Iowa.
That's where it flipped.
I do think it flipped a little bit. Obviously the Minnesota game, a couple games before that, we played very well, start to finish, and then that Iowa game, with that team as high-powered as they are, you can't take away everything. And, there's a couple guys that we played off of that hadn't hit a shot in the last, I think, 6 games. And they go out there and they're making shots. We did a great job on Murray, who's got a great chance of being the player of the year in the league and possibly even in the country. And did a good job on Bohannon, really limiting him in his threes. And then a guy, Tony Perkins, again, who's really good player and a big piece for them, but he has not been shooting the ball well. So he hit shots. Connor McCaffrey goes 3 for 3, but I really thought we competed start to finish. And then the next game we go out and played probably our most complete game of the year against Penn State. And then, Ohio State was a big win as well. And then find a way to cap the regular season off with a big one against Wisconsin was just a really great way to go into the Big Ten tournament. Now we're all 0-0, playing a team that we've obviously struggled with this year. They're pose a lot of unique challenges with a spacing 5-man with their best scorer being Pete Nance, who's really versatile. So, just need to go out there. We had a good, sharp, more of a walkthrough today. We had a couple guys with some bumps and bruises that we did not have go in practice. We'll get one more chance tomorrow and then hopefully go out and play well on Wednesday.
Trey made a comment after the Ohio State game. He said this was a great bonding road trip because you had a road trip. You played Penn State. You didn't come home. You played Ohio State. Have you experienced that in the past? A team sometimes can really bond when you're not in your hometown?
I think you can. When you're having struggles, it's good to go out on the road and have that time together. And when you have a trip, which is very uncommon in the college game, in the NBA, sure, you see it all the time. But having that makeup game with the COVID situation that we went through earlier and the makeup game against Ohio State, that gave us an opportunity to be out on the road. A lot of times you don't play well in the second game, but we had one-day preps. We had a lot of those last year, obviously, with being shut down as long as we were. And, those guys were phenomenal. I give our players all the credit for going out there and really locking in and doing a great job of going out and following everything that we threw at them in a short prep. And, come home for a couple days, and then you have to go back out on the road. So it is a tough stretch to end the season. Very rarely are you going to play 3 in a row on the road, come home for a day, and then we leave again tomorrow. So we're going through a tough stretch. But I like our guys' mentality right now. And again, I give those guys all the credit in the world for continuing to battle through very difficult times.
402-413-2400, the number to call or text. Bob in Lincoln has one for you. Said, hey, Coach, thanks for being willing to change, then making changes. Changing up the defense and getting stops, I think, has actually been a positive effect on the offensive end. Good luck in the tournament. Bob in Lincoln.
Yeah, thanks, Bob. I agree with that. Especially yesterday, we had to, just based on everything that was going on with foul trouble. We had a lot of guys, that we just had to really try and slow the game down and change up defenses and really try to keep Wisconsin off balance. They have a really good movement offense that they've been running for years and years. And to be able to go out there and switch to some zone and go into the man with that team, I thought was very important. And, again, our guys went out and executed that, got the stops, struggled with a little stretch of rebounding, and then we put a couple bigs in there, which we have not done a lot this year with Eduardo and Derrick together. And that's what kind of got us back controlling the glass, and then Lat goes back in, finished off the game. But, just can't say enough about Alonzo Verge for everything that he did and, battled through at a really tough technical foul call that gave him his fourth, which I thought was very tough. But he went back in there. We had to put him back in. I think we were down 10 at the under-12 media timeout, and he found a way to continue to compete without getting his fifth. So, credit Alonzo for continuing to go out there. He's playing his best stretch of basketball right now, as he has all season. It's great to see him ending his career the way that he's playing right now. He's been absolutely phenomenal.
Another text for you, Coach. Everybody's talking about the calls against Trey and Alonzo, rightfully so, but to me the most egregious call was the charge block that got overturned. Have you seen that happen before, where a call like that gets overturned?
Yeah, sometimes they'll get together, but it looked to me like it was coming from all the way on the other side of the court. I guess I got to be a little careful what I say about it, but, Derrick, I thought, did a good job of going over there trying to pop his feet and make a play for us to get us the ball. But, unfortunately they called the foul. They got the free throws. But again, when you have as many things happen against us as we did, it's very easy to shut down. But I thought our guys did a great job of keeping composure after losing it there for a little stretch and finding a way to stay together and bond and get everything reversed. And you have to have that in the road. It was a hostile environment. It was an unbelievable atmosphere. That's what they do at Wisconsin. Senior night for, one of the, arguably as tough a kid as you're ever going to have in the league, playing his last game in a Wisconsin uniform, and Brad Davidson, and competing for an outright league championship. So, to go there and, to get that composure back and make all those plays that our guys did at the end, again, just shows you everything that they've worked towards, and again, playing with a lot more confidence and finding a way to go out and get that game.
What did you make of Alonzo's play yesterday?
What else can you say? He just, the shots he hit, they were in a drop coverage, so you have to take some of those mid-range shots.
Which you don't like.
Which I don't love, but, again, we've taken probably more of them because that's what the league is all about now. You're going to, from an analytics standpoint, try to force the offense into taking those shots. So we have taken more than we have in the past, just based on what the defense is giving up when they hug your three-point shooters. But Alonzo, not only that, but getting to the rim, made a great little dump-off pass to Eduardo. And I thought early, we had 5 or 6 wide-open threes, and those were created by Alonzo. And, unfortunately, we didn't knock those down, or I think we could have really stretched that lead early in that game because I thought our defensive energy and intensity was off the charts. But, again, we kept at it. That had bothered us in the past, where if we hadn't made shots, it was going to affect the other end. But when you you don't make shots, you continue to guard. Eventually, we took the lid off that thing and ended up shooting over 50% against a tough Wisconsin team, which is very difficult to do.
53% for the game for the Huskers in that one. Let's go to the phone. Let's go to Central City and Jim. Good evening, Jim. You're up with the head coach.
Hi, Coach. Nice to talk to you tonight. Wanted to know if when you play that fast, can you still set up a play and run it? Or is it a situation where you go so fast that you run down the court and try to make a fast break basket? Or are you able to set up a play and run it when you go that fast?
Yeah, thanks for the question, Jim. I hope you get out to Valley View Country Club out there. I've played it numerous times with my relatives out there, and unfortunately the wind always blows about 800 miles an hour on that course. But to answer your question, we really have gone to an offense and a system where we're trying to get 2 or 3 passes or dribble weave action into a misdirection type pick and roll. So if we don't have anything on the initial thrust down the floor, then we really want to execute. I know I talk about pace a lot. Pace doesn't mean you have to shoot it fast. Pace and purpose, which we've been doing a really good job of in our system, especially these past couple weeks as our numbers have really increased. It's all about getting the movement within the half court and running your action with pace. And, again, I give Alonzo a lot of credit, for getting us into an action. And then we have different triggers that we have off of that system based on where the handoff goes, or if we hit Derrick in a flash, and Derrick was terrific in the high post yesterday, just making moves, getting himself to the basket, got us off to a great start when we were struggling shooting from the outside. So, yeah, we want to get the ball up the floor quickly, but we want to do it smart. And that's one thing in this winning streak is, we've never gotten in a rush. We've done a much better job of not being sped up. And that's really helped, I think, our offensive efficiency.
Appreciate the call, Jim. Thanks for dialing us up, 402-413-2400, the number to be a part of the program. You had a nice little gap between the Ohio State game and Wisconsin. But if you're going to make a run, and we all hope you do, you're going to have to play a lot of games here in a couple of days.
Yeah, it's it's unfortunately the position we're in. It is daunting, but it's been done. We're, like I said, we're all 0-0 right now. That first one's always a tough game, and especially for the way that we've played in the 2 games at against Northwestern. And then not only that, but you play the 6 o'clock game, and you have to bounce back basically and play a 1 o'clock game the very next day. So it's tough. We're a little, like I said, we're a little beat up right now. We'll go very light tomorrow. We're going to have to in order to try and keep our legs if we are going to have any chance of making a run.
How do you set up the scouts for this week?
Yeah, so it's basically who had the scout over the course of the season. Yep. So, Coach Gates had the Northwestern scout. He worked on the staff there for many years. The way it's set up, if we are fortunate enough to move on, Coach Lenzer has the Iowa scout, which would be the second game. So, it's just a matter of who had the scout, and then, behind the scenes, we've got a lot of people working on edits and putting everything together, preparing for whatever happens.
Text question for you. Give us an update on Bryce.
Yeah, Bryce still a little bit sore today. Did not do a lot in practice, but feeling quite a bit better than he did yesterday, which obviously is a great sign. And the swelling is gone down in that hand. He's still got some soreness, and he probably will, even if he's able to be back out there on the floor on Wednesday. But the good thing about Bryce's injury is he's progressively gotten better each day. And when you look back at that play against Ohio State where he fell, we're all thankful that it wasn't worse, because he fell very awkwardly on that right arm, and feel fortunate that he was able to get out of it the way he is. So, we'll continue to monitor him, and we're going to continue to be smart. Bryce obviously has a great future ahead of him, and, the importance is to look out and take care of his future.
Let's go back to the phones, up to Sioux City. Scott, you're up next with the head coach.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Scott.
Coach, good to hear from you.
Thank you, Scott.
Now, I heard that 1973 is the last time Nebraska had 3 winning road games.
That sounds right.
Is that?
Yeah.
49 years ago.
How about that?
I was 1.
Utterly fantastic.
Fred was 1 year old then, Scott. He was 1 year old.
I was born in 56, so I'm a little older.
Well, and I guess to speak on that, Scott, I really appreciate the call. For our guys to continue to go out and battle, as Greg said, the easy thing to do is as the season winds down, especially guys playing, their last games, which we have multiple seniors on this team, some that are going to have a decision to make, some that we know will not be here next year just because their eligibility is expired. But, for those guys to continue to go out there and battle together the way they have, just speaks volumes for the group and the character. And, again, I'm proud of them for continuing to do that. This season did not go any of us envisioned, but they never quit. And you see the results right now on the court these last several games, but what you don't see is their approach and their preparation and coming into film sessions and taking coaching and accepting it and, continuing to try to work and get better. And we've really changed our system, throughout the season twice now. And, we think we found a formula that's working much better. So, it's a credit to the players. And, it's not easy in today's age when you're going through struggles with everything that they have to put up with the social media, with the negativity, which, look, I get it. I mean, it's part of being an athlete. And, it's part of the society that we live in, unfortunately. But, they've continued to go out there and do their job, through all that. And I'm proud of them for it.
Question on the text line, is Alonzo, is this his last year of eligibility?
Yeah, he will move on next year. And, again, I couldn't be happier for Alonzo the way this season is ending for him and playing his best basketball by far and leading the league in assists. And, going out last night the way he played and had 26 points and 5 assists, which I think could have very easily been 10, 11, 12 had we made some of those shots. So, just really pleased for Alonzo and, the doors that he has opened here at the end of the season.
Need to slip a break in, 402-413-2400. Another segment with the coach coming up. You'd be dialing us up on our Sports Auto Hotline, brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first, 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buy to save you time. Shop, finance, buy online at woodhouse.com. More with the coach coming up.
So, this date was really fun.
Yeah, thanks for dinner.
For sure. For sure. Not really sure why I'm playing with my keys. I literally took an Uber here.
Oh, me too.
Wow.
Can I
Wanna
ride
grab
you
a beer?
around?
Start the night out right, because you can't drive drunk if you don't drive there. Decide to ride. This message is brought to you by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber. Copyright 2022, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
The 2022 Mazda CX-5's inviting interior and eye-catching exterior combine passenger comfort and driving pleasure. Equipped with standard all-wheel drive, the award-winning 2022 Mazda CX-5 creates confidence on your journey. The interior surrounds you with sophistication tailored to you. It's a CUV crafted for together. Shop the 2022 Mazda CX-5 by visiting one of our 2 convenient Woodhouse Mazda locations or shop online at woodhouse.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
It's Ford Truck Month. Now's the time to get a great deal on the only trucks built Ford tough. Work or play, get after it in a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Get behind the wheel of a new Ford Maverick pickup. And get after any adventure with deals on Ford Ranger. Take advantage of our best offers on the full Ford lineup of trucks. But you better get going. These deals won't last. Get to Ford Truck Month.
Here is a before winter to-do list from J-Tech Construction. Let's start with windows. Triple pane window technology has saved homeowners countless dollars on heating and cooling bills. Siding serves a crucially important purpose, protecting your home and insulating it from adverse weather conditions. And don't forget about your roof. Designing your roof should be simple and painless, and J-Tech offers several payment plan options. One more thing on your to-do list, called J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers.
See beyond traditional security with Kidwell. Kidwell's experts collaborate with its data cabling and IT teams to design and install surveillance camera systems that integrate with your network, are easy to manage, and can be accessed from anywhere. The Kidwell team assures every piece of technology performs seamlessly and creates greater confidence and a higher level of protection for your business and staff. From video surveillance to information technology to data cabling. See beyond to what's possible at KidwellInc.com.
Hey Husker fans, this is Anne-Marie from the Nebraska Beef Council. Just like the Big Red wins on the court, you can win at the dinner table with great tasting beef. From steaks and roasts to ground beef and kebabs, there are countless ways to create a meal that will have your family cheering for more. Visit beefitswhatsfordinner.com for easy beef recipes, cooking tips, and meal inspirations. Beef, it's what's for dinner in Nebraska.
Brought to you by Nebraska's beef producers and their beef checkoff.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Head coach with us for a few more minutes, 402-413-2400 with a call or a text. Steve in Bellevue, so glad to have you here as our coach. I could Google this, but I'm lazy. I like the honesty here, Steve. When does the transfer portal open up, and does the portal play a part in our future plans?
Yeah, good question. Actually, there's already players that have put their names in the portal. Some left during the middle of the season, and certainly you'll see as team seasons end, a lot more names every day. They're going to start piling into the portal. So we'll certainly look at it like all teams do, and pretty much every school that's out there right now competing has transfers on their team. They're making big impacts, and we've always use that, but we try to have a healthy mix. We feel really good about our recruiting class coming in this next year with 3 high school players, one that enrolled in semester in Denham Dawson, who we love, the early results on him, and then a junior college player in Blaze Kieda, who's #1 junior college player in the country, a big 6'10", really good player. So, we'll look at it and see who's out there to see if we can improve our roster, and that's what it's all about. Trying to do everything you can to put your team in a position to be successful, with a talented team that fits together.
Let's go back to the phones. We'll go to Jeremy in Platte City. Good evening, Platte Center. Good evening, Jeremy, up with the coach.
Yeah, Coach. I've coached some basketball, not at your level, obviously. But I want to commend you for the job that you did to get them guys not to quit on you. That tells me you're a great coach.
Well, I really appreciate that, Jeremy. Thanks so much for the call. And that's a big part of what we do is try to continue to get your team to battle through the good times and the bad. And that's one thing I'm really proud of our team. Even after these wins, one of the hardest things is putting a big emotional win behind you. And our guys have found a way to do that. First getting that first road win at Penn State, and then bouncing back and beating a top 25 team at Ohio State, and then keeping composure and coming back and preparing very well, and then going out and having our best win of the season against Wisconsin. So I give our guys a lot of credit for that. The other tough thing is when you have a devastating defeat, you have to find a way to put it behind you. You need to learn from it, and you need to put it behind you and grow from it. And our guys, especially after some of those tough losses, have come in with a workman's-like approach. And we always watch a film at it. We have a cleanup after every game, and you learn from it and you move past it. So, some of those you get all over your team. And, there's a lot of things, especially in those effort games, where you have to wake them up and get their attention. There's others where you show a lot of positive clips and things that you do right out there that certainly you can grow from. So, it's two of the biggest things in this business that you have to be able to do is move on from those tough losses and also from those big emotional wins.
Dorothy Lynch, home style, light and lean dressing, endless flavor abilities. Art in Los Angeles as coach, it seemed like the switch flipped with this team after Trev came out and said you would be back next year. Can you tell us anything about your meetings with Trev?
Well, let me just say this. Thanks for the message. I'm really excited about continuing on. My family and I, we absolutely fallen in love with Lincoln and with the entire state, and it's a state that we have a lot of history with in a university, certainly with my grandparents both being here. My grandfather on my dad's side, my grandpa Hoiberg, was a sociology professor for many years. My grandpa Bush, I think most people know, was the basketball coach here for 9 seasons. My parents both went to school here. Dad got his PhD back in '74, and that's when he moved our family to Ames, where he got the job offer at Iowa State. But we always came back and spent our holidays here. So, I'm honored to continue on as coach here. And, I'm thankful to administration for having the confidence for me to lead the program and, continue to hopefully improve and get us to a point where we're competing at this time of year for tournaments. It's where we want to be. That's what we want to get to, and I'm confident that we will get there.
Tim in Minnesota on our text line said, I saw Alonzo Verge named Co-Player of the Week. Congrats to him. What has helped this team's shooting in the last few games in your eyes?
Yeah, I think a lot of it, as I said earlier, I think we just have done a good job of not getting sped up, and we're taking really good shots right now for the most part. And, I think 7 of our last 8 halves, we shot over 50%. Which, early on, obviously that was a struggle. We really struggled to put the ball in the basket and had some good looks and then had some shots, certainly that we would like back. But, these last, 7 or 8 games, I think we've done a really good job of getting the ball to the right guy. We found CJ when he got it going. A couple games ago we got Lat when he had it going there in the first half. And then Alonzo was the guy in the last game, so we just put it in his hands and let him create. And it paid off. He made a lot of really good plays, and guys were setting great screens for him. And, he just made play after play. So, the biggest thing, simple plays and just really playing under control.
Nova Driz on our YouTube text line says, Coach, please do everything you can to bring Derrick Walker and Trey McGowan's back. Yeah, they're certainly got big decisions ahead of them. We love everything about those guys. I think the biggest thing, when you look at Trey and you look back at our season, and, he's really the heart and soul of this team. Well, really, both those guys are. But Trey, he brings you toughness, he brings you leadership, he brings you a guy that's competed at the highest level in college in 2 of the best conferences in the country, and you lose him early, and, he's the guy that we put on, obviously, the other team's best player. And, you look at going back to that Ohio State game that we lost in overtime. And, he did an unbelievable job on Branham the second time we played them. Branham pretty much got what he wanted that first time and scored 35 points. So, even back to the NC State game, which we lost in 4 overtimes, that kid went for, 35 points. And, I don't think that happens with Trey on the floor. So to get Trey back, now that he's got his timing and his conditioning where it is, you see how much different of a team we are with Trey on the floor. So, just really happy for Trey the way he's ending the season and playing under control and making simple plays. We've run a couple plays where we've cleared out the side, and he's done a great job getting himself to the basket. And then Derrick, we were really excited about last year. We got an unfortunate ruling with something that happened at Tennessee where he had to sit out for half the year, played 1 game, was great against Indiana, and then he got COVID. He was the first guy to start that string of COVID last year, and unfortunately missed some significant time after getting him back for 1 game. So this is really the first season where Derrick has had consistent playing time for an entire year. Tennessee was in and out of the lineup, played on some great teams behind some NBA players, played in the tournament.
the only guy on our roster that did that. So that experience is huge. But he's just so efficient. And, everything that we did to change was to get him more involved in our system. And it's really paid off when you look at the numbers when we went to that. So, we had some conversations, but those conversations will happen certainly as soon as our season is over. But we love them both. I'm going to do whatever I can to help those guys, as much as I can. But those conversations will happen as soon as our season's over.
We're going to hear from Derrick in the next segment. Andy in our YouTube chat room says, Fred, why does Derrick not get the calls when he gets banged on or held on every offensive play? Hardly gets called, but when he touches somebody, seems like it's a foul.
That's a great question, Andy. Yeah, I know. That's a great question. I agree. Derrick does a good job at drawing contact, absorbing contact. He's so good at clearing out space. Derrick's only, about 6'8", 6'8.5", going up against some of the biggest, strongest, most physical players in the country and holding his own and has had some incredible games. He really was the one I thought that kept us going in that first half last night. And our guys did a good job finding him and playing through him, whether it was on the block or at the elbow. So, just absolutely, Derrick. I think the world of Derrick. He's a warrior out there, and hope he has a great finish to the season. We're
going to talk to Derrick next. We're going to cut you loose. Good luck this week. I know you got a lot of prep to do. Let's go. We owe the Cats. Let's go get them.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Greg. Thanks so much for everything.
There he is, Fred. Fred Hoiberg with us here on our men's basketball coaches radio show. Nebraska 811 says, go dig red. Before you dig, always call or click 811 to have your utility lines marked. It's free, it's easy, it's the law. Back with Derrick Walker next.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
Welcome to Ag Answers, where we answer common questions related to farming and ranching. Today we're tackling the issue of GMOs, or genetically modified organisms. GMOs may sound scary, but they're actually benefiting our environment and consumers. That's because GMO crops help solve specific problems like insects, food waste, and droughts. By selecting good traits from one plant or organism and adding them to another, farmers are safely using science to produce high-quality foods better than ever before. This message is brought to you by Nebraska's corn and soybean farmers.
Momentum. It's building at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln with game-changing work in precision agriculture, nanoscience, and digital humanities. We're unlocking mysteries in brain research, solving the impossible with remote surgery using robots, and we're creating bold futures with world-leading research in early childhood education. We don't slow down, and we're not letting up. We are Nebraska.
Sumos 1-2, and Farrell swings and hammers it to left. A no-doubt grand slam for Farrell.
Nebraska softball heads to Southern California to open a 7-game road trip through the Golden State with Friday matchups against Sacramento State and Cal State Fullerton. Your pregame coverage beginning at 2:15 before the 2:30 first pitch on the Huskers radio network, Huskers.com, and the official Nebraska Athletics app.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Welcome to Ag Answers, where we answer common questions related to farming and ranching. Today's topic, animal agriculture. There's been a lot of talk suggesting that giving up meat is good for the environment. However, livestock emissions only account for less than 4% of greenhouse gas emissions, according to the Environmental Protection Agency. Also, by reducing meat in your diet, you're missing out on all sorts of beneficial nutrients like protein, iron, and zinc. This message is brought to you by Nebraska's corn and soybean farmers.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he's so cold. The furnace is out again. But wait, he sees an opening. SOS! SOS, he screams and calls 391-2336. SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer. Boy, he made the right call today as SOS is already on the way. SOS is your trustworthy company since 1950, and with Luxair, you get free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. Call 391-2336 or visit soshvac.com today.
In a world where fun and cash prizes collide,
one game explodes to the forefront. Cash Blast from the Nebraska Lottery. Non-stop excitement, a winning thrill ride, and starring you. Until April 12th. Play 2x2 weekly for a chance to win $5,000 or $500. And if your ticket was a 7-day draw, your prize is doubled. Don't miss it. Cash Blast playing at a lottery retailer near you. 2x2 top prize odds 1 in 105,000.
Zumos 1-2, and Farrell swings and hammers it to left. A no-doubt grand slam for Farrell. Nebraska softball heads to Southern California to open a 7-game road trip through the Golden State with Friday matchups against Sacramento State and Cal State Fullerton. Your pregame coverage beginning at 2:15 before the 2:30 first pitch on the Huskers Radio Network, Huskers.com, and the official Nebraska Athletics app.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
Hello, I'm Tom Osborne.
And I'm Coach Frost.
Statistics prove that youth who are mentored and receive support and guidance from a caring adult show measurable improvement in academic achievement, motivation to succeed, and hope.
Over the past 30 years, Teammates has served more than 43,000 youth, and right now there are more than 1,000 waiting for a Teammates mentor to visit with them once a week in school.
For more information on how you can help the Teammates Mentoring Program, please go to teammates.org, and thank you for supporting our youth.
Sponsored by Nebraska Crossing Fast Cash app.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Back on our men's basketball radio show earlier today, Jessica had a chance to catch up with Derrick Walker, who's been a big part of this 3-game winning streak for the Cornhuskers.
Well, Derrick Walker, what a way for this team to close out the regular season. What's gone into these 3 wins?
Just we've been hungry, all season, we haven't stopped fighting, we haven't stopped fighting for wins, and we finally been able to get them. So for us to just continue to stay hungry and just be consistent with our play and just actually go out there and compete every game, So we finally caught a break and we finally got some wins.
What a performance yesterday at Wisconsin. A top 10 opponent. Nobody's giving you guys a chance. You don't have Bryce McGowan's, and then all the adversity. What went into that win and you guys coming together to pull that one out yesterday?
We've been through a lot of adversity all year, So adversity isn't something that we're not used to facing, So for us, it was just about staying solid, and we knew that going to that game it was going to be a tough one, and we seen in the second half that it was going to be even tougher, So we just had to stay together and just continue to get open shots and just play together, Yeah, it sucked not having Bryce out there, and yeah, it sucked not having Trey out there, but we're still a team, We have guys that can come in and fill those roles and be a big part of our success.
Well, you're no doubt, one of the leaders of this team, and so when things were completely nothing going your way there to start the second half and foul trouble and Trey's gone and everything that kind of was going wrong, what was your message to the team? Hey, we're not out of this thing. We got to keep fighting. What was your message?
It was a point where it was just like, hey, it's 8-on-5, we're not going to get calls. So we have to be tougher. We have to stay mentally composed, because we're in a hostile environment, No one wants us to win this game. Everyone wants Wisconsin to be on top, and, we're at the bottom of the league. So no one wants to lose their senior night, and, it was, that win would have been significant for them. So no one wants to lose in a way that they did, So for us, playing how we play, we're the road dogs, everyone counts us out. So like Hoiberg always says, why not us, So it was, if anything, we had to prove it to ourselves that we can go out here and beat these teams.
You had to be tired at the end. Were you tired?
I was, but that's part of the game. You know, there's a lot of banging, there's a lot of up and down. But you know, anything that get us a win, I'll put that exhaustion to the side.
What's been cool to watch, you know, over these last 3 games is you've had different guys step up, you know, at different moments when you guys needed it the most, and so many people contributing. How special has that been to kind of see C.J. Wilcher come in and have a big first half at Ohio State, and the way Alonzo Verge played with 4 fouls and the big plays he delivered? How special is that to kind of see this team come together in that regard, where whoever needs to step up, whoever number is called in any given moment, they're doing that?
It just shows you that's the team that we have. You know, anyone can come in and it can be anyone's night. You know, I was super proud for how CJ came out against Ohio State. You know, I was in big time foul trouble that game as well. So I'm proud of everyone that's came in and contributed to the game and made game winning plays. You know, when we've had that team all year, you know, we just have to put the pieces together.
What about Alonzo Verge and how he's been playing down the stretch here to close out this season?
He's been amazing. You know, he's been putting us in the right spots. He's been getting us buckets when we need it. And he's just been running the floor, you know. His defense has been amazing lately. He's just stepped into that true point guard role, and I couldn't be more happier for him. You know, he's settled down to the game, and he's allowed it to come to him. And it's been great for us as a team.
Visiting with Derrick Walker. Bryce McGowens didn't get to play, and hopefully you guys will get him back. But, you know, there's some discussion on if he should be Big Ten Freshman of the Year. I know you guys are close. He's told me so many times how important you've been to him and being like a big brother to him. You give us a sell on why Bryce McGowan should be Freshman of the Year.
I think he should get if you take our record away, you know, he's done a lot, you know, as far as scoring. He plays a lot of minutes. He rebounds. He defends. And a lot of freshmen aren't able to come into the Big Ten or any college level and do what he does, you know. Like, yeah, maybe he has the green light, but he's not a ball hog, you know. He actually wants to get better, and he actually wants to help the team win. You know, so I think he should get that award just because he deserves it. You know, he's put in the work, and it's shown on the court. So I don't think our record should take that away from him because he's done the work and he deserves everything coming to him.
What was it like for you to watch the growth that he's been able to make just from the beginning of the season to where he is now?
It's amazing, you know. He came in as a young kid, ready to learn, ready to get better, and I think that was what he's done all year. If I ever said something to him, he's always listened and he's always tried to do what I tell him, whether it's me or a coach. He's always wanting to get better. He's always wanting to take it to the next level. And there's been some games where I'm like, and I look up and I see him do things, and I'm like, oh, my gosh, I didn't know you could do that, kid, you know? You know, so it's like I just tell him, you know, like, be you, you know. I know there's a lot of pressure on you to be Bryce McGowens, but don't let that affect the way you play. You know, come out here with a clear head and just be you, and everything else will fall into play.
All right, I talked about the teammates first because I know that's the kind of guy you are, but let's talk about you. And, you know, every night you watch a TV broadcast and they're talking about how you might be undersized, an undersized big man for the Big Ten. What is it about you that you're still able to produce so much and still, you know, be able to battle down there and get so many buckets and big-time buckets when you might be quote-unquote undersized?
For me, it's about heart, you know. It's about heart and pride. For me, I've always been undersized since I was 16, playing 17 EYBL. So me being undersized isn't new to me. I guess it's new to everyone else. So for me, it's just about heart, you know. It's about physicality. It's about being smarter than your defendant. So for me, I just do what I can to put myself in the best position to shine, you know. I don't try and overdo things. I just try and play the right way. And when my number is called on, I do what I can to produce. So to me, it's just about having heart, you know. it's easy to say that, like, hey, I'm 6'8", I shouldn't be able to defend or score on these guys, but no, it's basketball, you know. As long as you put your mind to it, you can do anything.
And you're doing that at a very efficient rate. It's funny, yesterday on the broadcast, the guys were talking about nobody should be shooting as well as you do it. What, 67%? What's gone into that for you to be able to finish so well this year?
I like to give a lot of credit to just my teammates. You know, they put me in the right positions to score. And when it is time for me to make a bucket out the post, they feed me the ball. And they have confidence in me that I'm going to score the ball and then it's going to go in. So to have that confidence from your teammates and from your coaches behind you, it means a lot, you know. It allows your confidence to go a lot higher. So I just give it all to my teammates just because they always put me in the right place and they always, you know, let me know that, like, hey, like, go get a bucket. You know, they can't guard you, you know. So just having good teammates behind me is the reason I want to say it has been my success.
So all year you guys have been in close games and you know, found a way to get over that hump here, you know, to close out the season. What was practice like today, being that you put those 3 wins together on the road to close out the regular season?
It was very high energetic, you know. As a team, as the seasons got on, we came a lot closer just because we've been through so much up and downs. But you this morning walking in, you could just see a total buy-in. You know, everyone's hungry to win the next one, and everyone's hungry to shock the world.
Okay, let's talk about the Big Ten tournament. You got Northwestern again, and I know you guys were not happy with the outcome when they came here to Lincoln, and then you know they got another one there on February 22nd. What do you guys need to change up the third time around against Northwestern?
Just being disciplined, you know, limiting our mental errors, you know, and I think that's something that we've done a lot better job at lately. Is just limiting our errors, and I believe that if we come out and play how we've been playing and playing for us and not for other teams, we'll come out on top.
You know, Coach talked about it last night in his post-game interview about, you know, you guys need to play a lot of basketball up in Indy. What's the approach of the team? You know, I know you got to take it one game at a time, but what's your message as a leader, and what's the approach of this team as you go up, you know, to face Northwestern and then hopefully go on a run up there?
Our approach is to, you know, play our game. You know, like you said, take it game by game. You know, and our first game was Northwestern, so our approach is just knocking them off, and like I said, we want to shock the world. I think there's a lot of teams scared to play us right now just because they don't know what they're going to get from us. So I think that's a good advantage to us, you know, and we have a good group that's great at adapting to change and learning on the fly. So for us, we have to come out with the same energy and the same defensive mindset that we've been coming out with, you know, and that's not letting our defenders, not letting our opponents score a will. You know, make it hard on them, you know.
Love it. Were you a big March Madness guy growing up? Did you watch a lot of college basketball as a kid?
On and off, yeah. But as I got older, I got a lot into it just because it's crazy. You know, March is crazy. You see all these game-winning shots and all these close games, and it's just a nerve-wracking month for everyone, you know. So, yeah, March Madness has always been a huge role in my life.
I always say it's the most wonderful time of the year. You guys got to be excited for this opportunity this week, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, Derrick Walker, appreciate your time. Love the way you guys have been playing, and hopefully you guys go keep that trend going up there in Indy this week.
Yes, ma'am. Appreciate you.
There's Derrick Walker, joined earlier by Jessica Coody to talk about this amazing run this team has had. There's 3 straight wins, all on the road. They're off to Indianapolis. They will play Northwestern 5 o'clock on Wednesday, 4 o'clock for pregame coverage here on HRN with Kent Pavelka and Jake Muehlheisen. Derrick joined us on our Sports Nightly Hotline, which is brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations, simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance, buy online at woodhouse.com. We're back to wrap up the hour next.
It's Ford Truck Month. Now's the time to get a great deal on the only trucks built Ford tough. Work or play, get after it in a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Get behind the wheel of a new Ford Maverick pickup. And get after any adventure with deals on Ford Ranger. Take advantage of our best offers on the full Ford lineup of trucks. But you better get going. These deals won't last. Get to Ford Truck Month.
Okay, let's get a photo of the bride and groom standing next to that giant mud puddle. Good. Now smile.
Oh, honey, don't look now, but you're covered in mud.
Oh, so is your white tux.
You know what this means, don't you?
Trucks and Bucks from the Nebraska Lottery is back.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This is the happiest day of my life. Don't you think we should head to the nearest Nebraska Lottery retailer?
I do.
Trucks and Bucks is back, and you could win one of 8 new trucks. Top prize odds 1 in 336,000.
This year, we considered hiring an ad agency to help us with our marketing.
They pitched impressive visuals and a script that was inspiring.
And exotic animal mascots to help grab your attention.
In the end, we just decided to tell it to you straight. J.D. Power ranked Shelter Insurance #1 in customer satisfaction among auto insurers in the Central Region and #1 in price.
See agent Nick Voorhees or Jim Mowinkle in Gretna or Travis Hawk in Scottsbluff today.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Buckle up, put the phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. That's going to put a bow on tonight's show. Thanks to the head coach for coming in one last time here during this 2021-22 season. It's ending with a bang. The Huskers have won those last 3 games all on the road. They'll head to Indy tomorrow. They'll take on the Northwestern Wildcats on Wednesday. Day number 1. In fact, it's game number 1 of the tournament. 5 o'clock tip, 4 o'clock for pregame coverage with Kent Pavelka and Jake Muehlheisen. Tomorrow, full show. We didn't think we'd have one, but Husker baseball got moved from tomorrow to Wednesday afternoon. Headed down to Manhattan to take on Kansas State. And be aware, there's probably some schedule changes coming for Husker baseball over the weekend. They're supposed to have their home opener on Friday, but boy, a storm is heading our way. So stay tuned for some more news tomorrow about Husker baseball home games coming up. That'll put a wrap on tonight's show. Thanks to Tim for steering the ship for us tonight. Have a great night. Talk to you again tomorrow.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
United Healthcare believes small businesses are vital to our economy and an important part of our communities. Join United Healthcare in celebrating small businesses. I'm Rob Broomfield, United Healthcare of Nebraska's CEO and a graduate of the University of Nebraska. We want to recognize your small business with the Spotlight on Small Business Sweepstakes. Winners receive radio interviews, social media recognition, and more. To enter, visit huskers.com/spotlight. United Healthcare, proud partner of Husker Sports.
The 2022 Mazda CX-9's refined performance and signature design make this 7-passenger CUV a cut above. Enjoy the inviting cabin where every passenger's comfort was a consideration. While experiencing Mazda's holistic approach to driving, the 2022 Mazda CX-9 is crafted for connection to the driver, passenger, and the journey. It's a CUV crafted for together. Shop the 2022 Mazda CX-9 by visiting one of our 2 convenient Woodhouse Mazda locations or shop online at woodhouse.com.
Here is a before winter to-do list from J-Tech Construction. Let's start with windows. Triple pane window technology has saved homeowners countless dollars on heating and cooling bills. Siding serves a crucially important purpose, protecting your home and insulating it from adverse weather conditions. And don't forget about your roof. Designing your roof should be simple and painless, and J-Tech offers several payment plan options. One more thing on your to-do list, called J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers.
When you're a sports fan, it's kind of like having a new love interest. You want to know all about them. Only instead of learning about someone's third-grade crush, you want to know the latest scores, stats, and lineups. To get that, you need Cox Internet. Cox gives you that window to look deeply into your beloved team's soul. Not to mention their injury list.